Hello and welcome to IMHO. Today we're talking AI overviews and with my guest Pedro Dias. In the industry, Gen AI, SGE and now AIO have been the hot topics since the launch of ChatGPT in November 2022. Since that time, the SEO industry has been trying to figure out just how much search behavior will change and how this is going to impact on organic search traffic. Google's aim is to try and integrate Gen AI to provide better answers, but however, there's been a lot of contention and discussion about this in practice because the results have been quite unpredictable. Some of the main discussion points for SEO have been the AI plagiarism and how much do we need to pivot with our approach to SEO. Gen AI is disrupting the industry faster than anything else in the 25-year history of SEO. So who better to ask than the next Googler? So Pedro Dias, welcome. And I'm going to ask you, in your opinion, what do you think about AI overviews? How do you think they're going to impact the industry? And where's this going to go?
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for inviting me to your new show. Well, things, if I learned one thing from working in search is like, it's a constant change. Like, to encapsulate this, like Google always wanted to be your personal assistant and not your friendly librarian. I think I made that analogy already on Twitter. And the difference is your personal assistant will know everything about you and will be able to give you like bits of information and quick answers about things rather than pointing you to a book to read or to a resource to read, or it will make half of the work for you. So I think that's how we need to see Google from this perspective going forward. Like they will be the personal assistant that will kind of, instead of being the friendly librarian, or that, well, they will just point us to books. They will do half of the work for us. And in their words, they say sometimes you want a quick answer. And that's what they want to do. They want to give you quick answers. So the thing is, like, if we continue to use Google to just like put out what could be answered by a quick answer, we will likely be disrupted by that. So I think what we need to focus on is actually focus on producing what people want beyond quick answers. So I think quick answers are a public that Google wants to cater for themselves because they want to be a personal assistant. So it's not something that a website owner should be probably putting effort in. Well, you could put effort in, but then also have a more in-depth kind of content that ideally would be closed away from Google, where you could like then funnel your readers that want to know more about something into that content. So you'd protect your assets or in your knowledge in a way that you'd allow Google to, make these quick answers based on some, superficial or almost like, the teasing kind of headlines that you'd put out for something. And then like, if you want to know more, hop in here. And this is an environment that's close away from Google or from search engines or from AIs. And you'd kind of, build your followers and your community and your users around that. I think we need to focus more than ever to build our own communities and our own users that are, um, faithful to our brands and to our content. That they want us for something. We don't. I think what Google is saying, you will have to produce more than just what once was parachute traffic, and where people would kind of, this will do, this will do, reading a snippet, reading an instant answer, reading. By the way, AI overviews is no more than an evolution of instant answers, what Google already had, and we saw an impact of that, and now that changed. And again, it's a bit impossible to forecast how this all will kind of come to a close and what will be the format and the impact, because Google keeps changing what they present now in search results, and they are playing with it to in a form of a labs slash beta kind of testing. But certainly this will trigger different search behaviors. So if people before would need to click and visit websites more often, it has been a trend. It has when we just had like 10 blue links and no instant answers, this you'd get all the traffic because people would have to visit your website for every single thing. Sometimes when the title or the snippet on the description wouldn't answer the question anyway. But I think we need to be comfortable that this would not be our customers anyway. These are Google's customers. And I think we need to be comfortable between distinguishing the users that want to be our customers from the users that want to be just Google's customers. And that's okay. And I think that's where we need to put our efforts and our work on, is building the content that for people that just don't want the summary, they just don't want the quick answer. They want to read the book. They want to consume the details and augment their knowledge. And they just don't want just superficial information or some insight that they can kind of dispute there with their friends on some party that they are at, and so I think it's just like a matter of time. It's not if it will happen, it's when it will happen. And it's unfortunate because it disrupts a lot of business models, as the revolution, the industrial revolution did, and as the web did for the music industry and for the publisher industry and for the so we are about to kind of go through yet another change, and we have to adapt to it, but it will be okay. We will survive. We will just have to deal with the change, and not you can be as conservative as you want with it, but that will not stop the change. And yeah, unfortunately, that's how things evolve.
What do you think that people can do to actually leverage how AIO is going to change the search, so that I think it's really interesting what you're saying about this journey of people going to have to change their whole approach, mentality, and business model, and use Google as much as you can to get an introduction of users into your site, but then to bring them in to your better content that you're going to keep gated away. How do you think you can create that strategy of how can you leverage AIO to make that happen?
So I think you can, you know, I think there will be an exercise of understanding how much of the discovery aspect of, you know, of the user journey Google is going to take away in several industries, because it's certainly going to be different it's not going to be the same for every vertical. Um, while some verticals, like I don't, for example, for law, for this kind of, or I don't know, for accountants or things like this that are like um, usually consultants that rely on laws and on rules, um, whereas before would be kind of hard for anyone to grasp or identify the pieces of legislation or financial rules that are affect them. Now you can ask an AI, and you can be fairly certain that it's on a catch-all scenario, a wider umbrella, that some things apply to you. But if you have a very specific scenario, you'll have to go to a specialist or someone that can deal with your specific scenario. And I think as professionals, I think what we need to do is understand that we can benefit probably for putting very broad concepts out on how to, that AI can tap into and use you as a reference. But then when it comes to very specific, cases and very specific situations, maybe you want to keep that content for yourself, or locked away from search engines and from AI systems, and only make it available for your clients and for and even like on demand. So I think every industry and every business will have to make this discovery process of understanding where to cut, what they can give away that's not detrimental for them, and that doesn't, you know, that at the same time puts them above their competitors, because it's gonna, either we want it or not, there's gonna be competition, and this will be who puts more useful content out, and it will be a self-defeating prophecy, because your competitor will put some more details out, and then you are compelled to upstage them, and this will only benefit search. But then you have to decide, where are you going to cut? Where are you able to, draw the line between what you offer as a premium and what you offer for free? And this will be where, you know true professionals with very deep knowledge will prevail, in detriment of businesses and professionals that have just a little knowledge and surf away with it. And I used to say that what AI came to do is further put a bigger distance between someone who knows something and someone who is a specialist in something. So this middle ground is about to disappear. And I would say that the very professional will remain, because the knowledge is derives, it stems from them. It's this the industry lives of the back of what these people do, as in research, in investment, in and the rest will be the rest, and there will be the people that are okay with just some information that is provided by an AI, and there will be people that will need more, and they will need to go to these people that know in depth what they are talking about.
Well, thank you, Pedro. That's a really interesting perspective and appreciate you offering that. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where things go in the next few years. I think it's certain that there is going to be lots of change and disruption, hopefully for the better. But thank you very much for offering your humble opinion, and thank you very much, Pedro.
Thank you very much for letting me share my humble opinion. And it was great to be on your show.